Hi guys, welcome to BodyClocq Personal Training in Nottingham. In this video we're going to look at how you can develop your core strength from the very basic exercises right up to more functional ones. The first one we're going to do is we're going to have Lawrence lying on his back. He's going to have both hands under the small of his back there. What he's going to do once in that position is brace his stomach really tight, and that will press his back muscles down onto his hands so he knows he's got the right level of core tension. From there he's going to bring his knees up to 90 degrees, and then he's just going to take the leg down slowly, touch the floor with his heel, and come back up. Now obviously you can't really see this very well, but what's going to happen is Lawrence is just constantly checking that his back is pressed on his hands and he's holding the right level of tension while he takes his legs out alternately. Okay, once you can do around 10 of those on each leg, you can then move on to doing both legs at the same time. Again, always checking that you're keeping that tension. If your back's coming off the floor, then you know you're not keeping it tight enough. Okay, excellent. Once you're confident with that, and you know you can switch on the right muscles, you can then go on to a kneeling plank. So Lawrence is going to flip himself over. He's just going to come up onto his knees. That's it. So you can see from his shoulders down to his knees, nice and flat. And again, he's using the same technique, so I can feel his stomach's really tight there. He's bracing, keeping that back nice and stable. Again, once you can do that for 30-45 seconds, you can move on to the full plank, which is exactly the same. He's just going to lift his knees up, keep everything nice and straight. So obviously that's going to be quite a lot harder and require a lot more tension. Okay, once you've mastered the planks and you know you can generate enough core tension, you can then start taking it into a more dynamic setting. One of the key exercises we use at BodyClocq is the get up. Now we do this using kettlebells. If you don't have access to kettlebells, we'll show you in a second how to do it with dumbbells. It's not quite as effective, but it will do a good job for you. So Lawrence is going to show you how to get up. What he's doing throughout this movement is maintaining that tension in his core and in his abs that he was using doing the planks that we saw earlier. But obviously we're using a lot more muscles now, and he's having to stabilise while performing quite a complex movement. Again, Lawrence is showing you with the kettlebell. This can be done just with body weight until you get the right movement, and that should be the case with any weights exercise. Okay, so that's how we do it with the kettlebell, and now Lawrence is just going to show you with the dumbbell. It's exactly the same movement, but what you find is because of the shape of the dumbbell and the way the weight's distributed, it doesn't have quite the same effect on your stability as a kettlebell. It's definitely one that you can be practicing in the gym. Now, as you see, Lawrence is taking this really slowly. This isn't an exercise to rush through. You're really concentrating on what you're doing and making sure you're maintaining tension throughout the movement. So Lawrence is keeping his eyes on the dumbbell or the kettlebell at all times so that he's in control of the movement. Okay, the next exercise, again one of our favourites with the kettlebell, is the windmill. Now this is not only a great core exercise, but it will also do wonders for developing hamstring flexibility and also shoulder mobility. So Lawrence is going to first get the kettlebell up to the rack position and then press overhead. Okay, so again he's going to set his feet so that they're pointing about 45 degrees away from the kettlebell. He's going to shift his hip out underneath the kettlebell and then ease himself down as close to the floor as he can go, and then come back up. So again, it's something that we can't really see, but he's holding that tension, keeping his core muscles braced really tight, and watching that kettlebell so he knows exactly what's going on, and coming back up. And as you can see, because his legs are straight, he's getting a really good stretch in the hamstring. Okay, Lawrence is now going to show you how to do it with the dumbbell. So exactly the same positioning, keeping the arm locked out. So you can see his arm's perfectly straight, the elbow's locked out, he's keeping his eyes on the dumbbell as low as he can go, and then coming back up. One thing you won't be able to see is that as he's coming up, he's also squeezing his buttock muscles together, keeping those tight, and that will help him come up into the top position without putting pressure on his back. Okay, the whole point of developing core strength is so that you've got strength to stabilise your spine. Whatever you're doing, whether it's sport or activities that you do every day. For instance, we're going to use Lawrence today as if he's done his shopping and he's now picking up his shopping bags. Now Lawrence is going to show you what people normally do and why a lot of back injuries occur. You know, there's no attention paid to his core tension, core strength. He's bending his back, and that's what's going to happen. Okay, what Lawrence is now going to do is effectively what we call the deadlift movement. Now before he does the movement, what he's going to do is you're going to hear him suck in some air, and as he does that, he's going to imagine he's kind of zipping his body up, so starting sort of from the pelvic area up to the chest and tightening his core, okay, and that's going to make his spine really strong and stable. Okay, so Lawrence is now ready to pick up his bags. He's going to suck in some air. Now his abs are really tight, you can see how flat his back is, and he lifts, squeezing his bum. Okay, and back down. We'll do another example. So if you just listen. There you go, so he's created the stability in his core area, the muscles are tight, his back's flat, and he's ready to lift.